I don't know if we're going to go direct. 019 takes us direct. Oh, this one doesn't have the heading. Yeah, no, it's off of Sierra, but it's near Agua Dulce. Yeah. Yeah, but it's actually off of Sierra. Look nice. Yes, I can. I have no information about what's going on. That was when we took off. Now we're closer to 11 minutes. Is this going to be like are we breaking in? Is this, what is going on here? I'm not hearing anything. Okay, but, right. The side test, they're talking about breaking in. I'm listening to LA County Fire. I'm listening to sheriffs as well. What's going on? 10 minutes. What's going on? Okay. You know what? Are we even sure there is a suspect? I'm just, I'm working all scenarios in my mind because I'm not hearing anything. Maybe it's a suicide. So somebody came into the fire station and shot the captain. All right. Well, IFB is going to be an issue where we're at. Everybody knows this, I hope. Okay. 2602. 2602 Bansford Drive. Listen, guys, listen to Blue 12. They're saying the active shooter, the shooter might be at this house that's on fire. They just dispatched it. I didn't get the address. This would be a great day for teamwork. 80's first in. If you guys can give me the address, I'll type it in. I was too busy trying to do other things. Okay. Where do you see smoke? Oh, somebody's talking at me? Who's talking at me? Hello? Hello? Somebody was talking? I got you now. That was 109 earlier. 2 was 25, 025. 80's first in is not where we're going. We're going to 81st. 81st first in. (2602) Bensford 2. 2602 Bensford Drive. 2602 Bensford Drive. Thanks for the help, guys. 2602 Bensford Drive. Acton. It's in Acton. It's going to be south of the 405. It's going to be over that way. But that's the shooter's address. Hang on. Nothing. I got it. I got it. It's Bent Spur Drive, 2602 Bent Spur Drive. There's a structure on fire. That's where the shooter lives. Would you like us to go to the fire station first or the shooter's house? Go to the fire station first. Go to the fire station 023, and I'll get you the. When we get there, I'll get you the Bent Spur Drive. Bent Spur Drive. Bent Spur Drive. I don't see any smoke. West of us. That way? I don't know. Maybe that's the. I went with the address that they gave us. Maybe that's the fire captain go. No, they would have airlifted him, wouldn't? Don't you think? Simon Desk. Okay, everybody else is at the Newhall Pass. We're going to Agua Dulce. I'm going to the address that you guys gave me. Okay, assignment desk. All right. Okay, and it's not a. It might be a stabbing. Okay, so everybody's on. Old Spanish Trail. They believe that that's going to be the shooter. That's where everybody else is. Guys, okay. You realize we're in Agua Dulce. I realize this is a very tense situation. Would you like us to go to the fire, or would you like us to go to the fire station? If you have to, text me. All I'm hearing is static. Fire. Go to the fire. That's the fire station. Okay. Vinny, pan to the left. Just let's get a shot of it as we go by. That one right there. That's the fire station. That's the fire station. We're going to the fire. 12 o'clock. You see the header? Okay, cool. I bet. Yes. Guys, yes. Anytime you want to take me live, you got to let me know, though. IFB is horrible. I have only static on the IFB. I copy. Somebody asking me if I copy. Yes, I do. I hear somebody talking on news. Okay, not a problem. We're already going towards the fire. Yes. Copy all. Hot on KCal. Copy. Marla, there's actually going to be 3 scenes. It's a very, very fluid situation. Things moving very quickly. First responders. Now we do know that one person has passed away. We're not sure. We know it's a firefighter, an LA County firefighter. We don't know if it's a captain or somebody else because there is reports that there may be 2 people that were injured in a shooting or stabbing, some kind of violence at the fire station. That's going to be Fire Station 81 in the LA County Fire Station 81 in the Agua Dulce area, and it's going to be right off of Sierra Highway. Sky Fox went by. We saw a very active scene there. We did see one of their helicopters leaving that area. We're trying to work out if they're transporting an injured person from that location. What you're looking at right there, this is going to be Acton. This is a 2600 block of Bent Spur Drive. Now, this is a location on fire. You can clearly see that, and there's reports that this is the shooter or the suspect that killed that firefighter on Sierra Highway at the fire station. Now, the fire department, they are staging nearby. Sheriff's Department's been made aware of the situation. They are here at location. They have to clear this house before they even allow the firefighters up to this location. What's causing all this? What the motive is? That is far beyond us right now. Right now, we're just working more reactionary, going to these locations. Large houses in the Acton area. Now, there's also a third location of a possible felony stop taking place on Old Spanish Road in the Newhall Pass. Now, that one is also unconfirmed at this time, but that may be a felony stop involving also the suspect involved in that shooting, taking the life of a firefighter in the Agua Dulce area. Right now, though, active fire at this home. This is believed to be the residence of that active shooter. Marla? Correct. That's correct. Mar- Mar- Marla, I'm sorry, our IFB, the way we communicate is very scratchy up here this afternoon. But yes, you pretty much everything that we've been talking, everything is correct. We just don't know really the order and how everything happened. We do know, sadly, one firefighter, possibly a captain, at Fire Station 81 off of Sierra Highway lost their life in a shooting. In some of the information that was coming back and forth, they said shooting, maybe a stabbing. This house definitely on fire, but now the suspect could have set something here to create like a timed type of situation where the suspect set something up at his home or their home, went to that scene where those shots were fired, and then fled. And now this fire is basically burning down here. Now there is a sheriff's helicopter up ahead actually asking Skyfox for some information. They actually saw some vehicles driving away from this home that's on fire. Now we don't know. This could be neighbors in the area driving up to check on the house. This is a very rural community up here in the Acton area. A lot of smoke right now, and the reason why the fire department not approaching this home right now is they don't know if this is maybe some sort of trap to bring more firefighters in, because we don't know the motive behind the shooting. Like I said, very fluid situation this morning. Sadly, one firefighter losing their life in the Agua Dulce area. A second, as we understand it, may be in that helicopter being transported to a local hospital. We might be able to sort that one out up here in Skyfox. But right now, this is the house in the Acton area believed to be that suspect involved in that homicide with that fire captain. So this house now on fire. And again, not sure if somebody's in that home or perhaps he set something up so that house would catch fire after he departed the residence. Uh, I'm sorry, Marla. We did see the fire station when we flew by it. We did see it. Then apparently there is one person passed away at that fire station, possibly a second injured. This is what the actual sheriffship is asking us about. There's a lot of activity down there, and there's apparently a number of deputies making their way to this location right now. We also know that the SEB, that's the Special Tactics Team from the Sheriff's Department, they're making their way here as well. They've already been called in. Again, though, this fire related to the fatal shooting, and we're saying shooting right now, we're still working that out, of a fire captain in the Agua Dulce area at a fire station off of Sierra Highway. Now, these are the first deputies arriving here on scene. Again, this is an area very rural. If somebody's wondering what's taking so long for these deputies to arrive, this is we are pretty far out from any major areas out here. You can see some other homes in the area, but it took the deputies this long to get here. Now they have to sort out what's going on. They have a number of people in the area. These probably are neighbors, and that truck is what the Sheriff's Department has been very curious about. We heard the helicopter making calls, asking us what we knew about that truck, if we saw it arriving or if it was just saw us departing. Right now, though, this is a very dangerous situation, the way that car is driving. And you see the door opening up. So this probably maybe somebody that works works in the area, or a neighbor just checking on that house burning. But right now, anybody even near that home is going to be considered a suspect after that shooting at that fire station. Vinny, if you go down that street, there's a number of other deputies in the roadway. Is there a Rescue 5 landing down there? Can you ask them? I know they're crazy busy. Okay, all right. Marla, this scene right here is, like we said, very fluid. They are not allowing, actually, we heard the dispatch, LA County firefighters not allowed to approach this home because there is known information that this is the suspect's home involved in that shooting that took the life of a fire captain in the Agua Dulce area. So right now they are not allowing the firefighters to actually even make approach. I'm looking out the window to see if they're staging nearby, but at this moment this is more of a law enforcement situation. You have the deputies from the LA County Sheriff's Department out there in number. They have one helicopter that's more of a patrol helicopter, and then they actually have Air Rescue 5, and that one may have some of those special tactics folks on board, also orbiting and getting very, very low to the actual structure fire itself. So they're out here right now. They're being very active in searching and trying to make sure that that residence is clear. Meaning there's nobody there, there's no threat to any firefighters before they even allow the fire department to make any kind of approach. Right now I can tell you, Vinny, just go back to the structure fire right next to the smoke. You can see Air Rescue 5 hovering to the right, just a little to the right. There you go. Actually hovering, stopped there. Now, don't know if he's using anything or they're just special tactics to see if there's any movement in that house or anything like that, but that aircraft might actually have some specially trained folks on board, deputies on board that might be able to make an approach to that home safely to make sure that there is nobody there. Now that third scene, I'm hoping our folks at the desk are making phone calls or at least trying to figure out preliminary information because there was reports that there was a felony stop in progress by the deputies from LA County Sheriff's Department on Old Spanish Road that was possibly the shooter involved in the shooting. So we don't know if this person set fire to his house, went to that fire station, committed those crimes, those heinous crimes, and then tried to escape, or possibly that was the incident in Newhall Pass might have been not related to this, might have been the wrong vehicle, and possibly that shooter went to the fire station, did the heinous crime, and came back here, and now is maybe luring or some other something else other than that, trying to get firefighters to this location. At any rate, very fluid situation. Sadly, it's just beyond sad to hear that an LA County firefighter, a first responder, losing their life this afternoon. Don't know the circumstances behind any of this, but nothing could be that reason for a firefighter to lose their life at their place of business. Well, right now we're not. Right now, all the other law enforcement and also first responders that are up here are very busy. They are concentrated and very mission focused on what's going on. There's very little information being passed back and forth between the media and those first responders right now. Clearly, they have their plates full, and it's understandable. We have no issues with that whatsoever. Vinny, if you get wide and go, there's a really great shot. It looks like the Air Rescue 5 is actually almost going to be, it's just getting lower and lower down there. So clearly, they're looking at something or possibly looking for a spot where they could land and deploy. Don't really know, but very interesting indeed. A lot of these deputies, you might be wondering why they are so far away from this location. Well, clearly this is could be the home of the suspect that was is very determined in taking somebody's life this afternoon. And again, we don't have confirmed information. The information that was passed on to me early on was possible shooting slash stabbing. That's the way it was described at that at Fire Station 81 off of Sierra Highway in the Agua Dulce area. Later on, we got information that there was confirmation of one DOA, meaning one person dead on scene. Okay. Okay, now we're getting some information, and that's what Air Rescue 5 is doing down there. Be very careful, Vinny. If we find it, we don't want to show it. Apparently, they have information that there could be a self-inflicted gunshot wound victim in the back of this structure. And again, this is all very fluid. And hopefully, it's all just beyond sad, but that might be the suspect, not another victim. We just don't know, and that was the reason why Air Rescue 5 was so low right there. They were trying to get, they call it ops, trying to get eyes on, trying to get visual confirmation that there is a person deceased in the back of that home that is on fire out here in Agua Dulce. Wow. Wow. I know. Maybe you can. Yeah, I know. Wow. Okay. They're making access. They're gonna land Air Rescue 5, and they're gonna offload some special ops guys. Special Enforcement Bureau. Well, we're getting confirmation that Air Rescue 5 definitely has the Special Enforcement Bureau folks on board. That's basically the sheriff's version of SWAT. And they're going to make an approach. They're finding a spot right now where they can offload their guys, and they're going to make their way over to that house and get a better look at what's going on. We're still working on solid confirmation, but we do know that we understand that there is a body in an empty pool back there with a gunshot wound. Now, is that the suspect in self-inflicted, or is that another victim of this shooting? We just don't know right now. We can tell you the house still burning out here. That pool is not in an area where the house isn't going to fall on it, so they definitely have time to make their way over there. Again, though, we're still working out. I was listening to you, Marla. We were hearing that one person transported, and then one person sadly losing their life. Both of those firefighters from Fire Station 81, LA County Fire Station 81 in the Agua Dulce area. The house that you're looking at, if you're just tuning in, that this is going to be believed to be the suspect's home. And now we're getting information that there is a body, a deceased body in the empty pool near the back of this home. Now, we don't know, or we don't have no confirmation that is the suspect or possibly another victim in this. But right now, a very active scene out here. Law enforcement, the deputies are out here in force. And these are the Special Enforcement Bureau. That's basically the deputies version of SWAT, and they're looking for their number of them in that large helicopter. They're looking for a spot. They're going to make they said that they're going to land, offload some of their guys, and possibly just clear the home. And then maybe the firefighters will come in. They are nearby, but right now this house burning. And we do know one person deceased at Fire Station 81, believed to be a firefighter. I don't see it. Possibly. Wow. You're right, and you know, right now is still very fluid and a very dangerous situation. Clearly, one person shot, one firefighter shot at the fire station. Another firefighter possibly taken to. No, definitely. I'm sorry. Excuse me. We did get that confirmed. Taken to Henry Mayo with some sort of injuries. This is the house that they believe is the suspect involved in that shooting that took the life of that firefighter in the Agua Dulce area. This home is in the Acton area, up on a hillside up here. The house is just burning. Firefighters not allowed to make any kind of approach because this is believed to be the suspect's home, and they just don't know if that suspect went back here, is still armed, so they're just not allowing the firefighters to make access to that house. We understand that the SWAT team, or basically the SEB team from the Sheriff's Department, they are nearby. Some of them are on the ground, but a number of them are actually in the helicopter out here, and they are going to be, hopefully, they're going to be making a landing here shortly, offloading some of their guys, just to make sure that that house is cleared. There was also a report. Now, I got to tell you, Skyfox, we deal with this stuff all the time. We heard what they were looking at or what they were looking for. We made an effort. I cannot confirm that there is a body in that backyard. So right now, it's still a very active situation, very fluid situation indeed. That fire continues to burn. The Sheriff's Department, they need to approach this safely, and they're doing it as quickly as they can. And of course, one firefighter passed away in some sort of violence at that fire station, and then another in the hospital. No, that's the one that's the only one I can't get my get my finger on that pulse at all. I'm hoping that maybe somebody from the assignment desk or of our other parts of our news tentacles can go and dig around and get some information. That would be that would be a big piece of this puzzle if they have the suspect in custody or not, or if that may have been just the wrong vehicle. We just don't know right now, but we understand that that was going on all at the same time. Clearly, this was a first responders helping first responders. The deputies were out here very quickly. Information was moving very fast, and of course, if they had a vehicle that even matched that description of the vehicle that left the fire station, they were going to jump on it. And apparently, that happened in the Newhall Pass area on Old Spanish Road. Just unclear. We just don't know if that was the suspect's vehicle or not. We do know that this home that's on fire right here, suspect's home, did he make his way back to this location? That part we don't know right now either. That's right, Marla. It is a very large and attractive home out here in the Acton area right now on fire, but this quite possibly and more than likely is the suspect's residence after that, and we just don't know if that suspect came back here after that shooting or not. The house definitely on fire. The reason why it's continuing to burn, like we've been saying, they are unable to, the fire department unable to, or they're just not going to respond, knowing that this is the suspect that already had killed one of their firefighters. We don't know the motive. That's what's going on here. If this person's motive is just to harm firefighters, clearly they're not going to send more firefighters into harm's way. Right now, the fire continues to burn. SWAT, or SEB, that's going to be the Sheriff's Department version of SWAT, they are making their way to this location, trying to formulate a plan. Okay, and now we're hearing that there's more confirmation that they actually do have a body in the backyard, that we're getting that. We have not had eyes on it, I have to be clear about that, but more information is coming to us right now from other law enforcement in the air that there is a body on the ground near that house. Now again, it's just all we can say is that is a deceased person in the backyard. We don't know if that's another victim or possibly the suspect came back here and took their own life. So that is the most up-to-date information that we can pass along right now. I wish I would be able to give more concrete and confirmation, but as it stands, everything's still moving very quickly out here. They actually even have an LA County firefighting helicopter in the area. There's been some rumors or been talking back and forth that they might actually make a water drop on the house. I find that highly unlikely, but anything is possible right now. That house continues to burn up here on the hill. Possibility of this spreading into any kind of brush and creating anything other type of issue, not very high. Well, that might be part of the reasons why when we first arrived out here, just like we've been talking about, there were several different locations. Skyfox, we went to the fire station first, and when we saw this fire active, we knew about this, but when we actually saw the smoke, we realized that we got confirmation that this was actually happening here, so we rushed to this location. We arrived almost the same time as the sheriff's helicopter, and they right away were talking and asking us about what we knew about that white pickup truck that we did see leave the property. That was not, it looked more like a full-size older Ford truck. We did see that leave the property and pull over, and you saw them, those people getting out and talking to the deputies. And now they're talking about just giving you a heads up, and again, hopefully this comes to fruition as it's being explained to me right now, but apparently the Sheriff's Department, Air Rescue 5, is going to be dropping one person off, and he's going to be, they're going to drop one person off. That person's going to make confirmation that that person is deceased in the backyard, and then possibly right after that, LA County Fire is going to do a water drop on that structure. Again, this is something that we haven't seen in Skyfox, and so that the helicopter, and being explained to me right now is they're not actually going to land. They're going to do a hoist, so they're going to drop somebody. But it looks like he's pitching forward, so maybe he doesn't like what he sees. And but we'll keep it. We're going to keep an eye on it, and we'll narrate it the best we can as it happens. But you are watching law enforcement and first responders working together right now in a very tragic situation. We know one firefighter losing their life, a second firefighter in the hospital, and a suspect. Right now, we're waiting on confirmation, maybe, possibly deceased in the back of that home, or could still be out on the run. When he pulls into a hover, let us know. Oh, he's right. That's what we heard. The Bearcat just arrived. These, okay. Oh no. They're losing the IFB. There it is. Thank you. First responders. Yeah, that fire continues to burn unchecked out here, and it's, believe me, the fire department, LA County Fire, would be here and battling these flames, and fire probably would be out already, but because of the fact that this is the suspect's residence, and there is a good possibility that either the suspect is deceased in the backyard or not. That's the issue. Or maybe this home might even be booby-trapped. I mean, there's so many different scenarios. We clearly know that the person that lives in this house was able to make his way to the fire department, make his way over to the fire department and take the life of a firefighter, and then injuring another. We know right now that Air Rescue 5 is coming to a hover right there, and now we understand they're going to either they're going to drop somebody or they're going to let somebody rappel, one of their deputies rappel from that aircraft and make an approach to that home and confirm or just, let's just say confirm what we've been speculating all along, what's going on in that backyard, if there's a person deceased back there or not. While this is going on, the fire department is nearby. Other deputies from the SEB, that's going to be the Special Enforcement Bureau, are still arriving. I just saw the armored vehicle, the Bearcat, arriving on Bent Spur just moments ago. That helicopter, they probably have more than one Special Enforcement Bureau deputy on board, but we understand they're going to drop one of them off right now. We're hearing that there's two on board, but one is going to be dropped off for sure, make their approach to that residence and see what they can see. And then this will start unfolding even more as we continue to watch what's going on. Sadly, though, I cannot express the sadness that a firefighter losing their life. We just don't know the situation. We don't know what the motive was or why this all happened, but we do know the results, and it is beyond sad. And right now, it is still very active as they're trying to figure out if that suspect is deceased or still on the run. That's right, Marla. And you know, even though there's a lot of there's camaraderie between all the different types of first responders, firefighters, LA City, LA County, and then of course all the different law enforcement. It's camaraderie. They razz each other, but in the end, they are all first responders, and they all work together very well in very tense situations, and in this case now it's one of their own involved. And I known in the past when law enforcement have injuries or are involved in something, the first responders, firefighters and paramedics are there exponentially quickly and work exponentially hard to save those lives. And in this case, that firefighter losing their life, and right now law enforcement, or in this case the deputies, what they can do right now is just try to bring this to a conclusion. I can tell you Air Rescue 5 now definitely hovering, and it looks like they found a spot. It's going to be closer to the road, Vinny, to the left a little bit. And so basically they're just kind of trying to find the spot. There you go. There's that first responder. Now we're hearing, because this is very, like we said, very fluid, and we're just kind of passing along the information as we're being told it or hearing about it. In this case, that first responder, okay, he's not making his way over to the Bearcat. There was some talk that he was going to actually meet up with the other guys on the ground, and they were going to approach together. Clearly, this deputy on his own approaching this home, and this is one of those things that is so dangerous. We don't know the motive. That's what I have to keep talking about. We just don't know the motive that was involved here. So could that house be booby-trapped? Of course it could. Could it have just been some personal dispute that turned tragically fatal? We just don't know. And right now, though, deputies, he is making his way over to the armored vehicle. That's what the last information that was passed along to us. So he's probably going to make his way over to that armored vehicle. He's probably the last piece of that team, and then that team is going to make an approach to the home. Again, that house still on fire. This is in the Acton area on Bent Spur, believed to be the suspect in that fatal shooting of a firefighter in the Agua Dulce Fire Station 81, LA County Fire Station 81, off of Sierra Highway. Yes. Basically, yes, Marla. That's what they want to do. They want to clear that residence. The reports of a person down in the backyard. They want to make a confirmation of that. Find out if that person might still be able to receive aid, and also maybe identify that person. That's the unusual thing about this, Marla, and that it seems to be that all the players involved, the suspect and the victims, all know each other in one form or shape. There was the very clear information on that suspect right out the box, and that leads me to believe that possibly everybody involved knew each other. But there's a possibility that I could be wrong. But at this time, that house right there, that is believed to be, and very well believed, as you can see the response that's down there, this is believed to be the suspect's home. And there's apparently there's one person down in the backyard. We don't know if that's another victim or that suspect taking his own life. But that fire continues to burn. Deputies are here in force. They have their Special Enforcement Bureau. They have their armored vehicle. Basically, they're probably going to have to make some sort of plan how they're going to approach this home. Also, the reason why they're being so cautious is because clearly that house is on fire. This might, we don't know the motive. We don't know what was going on that created that fatal outcome of that one firefighter's life being lost in some kind of violence. We don't know if it was a shooting or a stabbing. But at any rate, they just don't want to come up on this home, have an active shooter there, and or maybe something else to meet those first responders. And that seems to be the big issue right now. That's the reason why things moving very slowly out here as this house in Acton off of Bent Spur continues to burn. Those deputies, last we saw them, they were near the driveway. Vinny might want to take a pan and see if they're making an approach yet. But that seems to be what's going on right now, is they're making that plan to approach that home, check that person that they believe is down in the backyard, if that person needs any kind of medical attention, and then also kind of confirm who that person is in that backyard. Yeah. That's the back. That's pretty much the back portion of the home right there. It's a large driveway, very modern style. I would almost, dare I say, Frank Lloyd Wright type of home. I don't know if that's a good description for folks. A large ranch home with a lot of open area, bungalow style type of home out here. And as you pointed out, it is a very, very nice home on a very large piece of property. There's reports that that victim or that the yard near or in the pool, and again, we haven't been able to confirm or deny any of that right now. That sheriff's helicopter, that big, it's a Puma, is really what the name of that aircraft is, Air Rescue 5, making a lot of low passes, but there are other first responders out here. The LA County Fire helicopter was out here for a while. Another sheriff's helicopter, more of a patrol type of helicopter, has been out here as well, and also LAPD made their way out here just to offer any kind of assistance. Right now, though, it is basically a safety game for those deputies. They are going to make their plan of action. They're going to execute it safely, make their way over to that house, and again, the grim part of it is they have to confirm if that person is deceased in that backyard and get some sort of identity. And this might bring this all to this might bring this whole thing to some sort of conclusion this afternoon, or it might make this open-ended, and there may be a suspect out there. That's right. Those were the first words. I mean, there was violence. Clearly, there was violence at that fire station. We do know from LA County Fire, from their PIO, putting out that extremely sad news that one of their firefighters did pass away at the fire station, and another one was taken to a hospital. Hopefully that firefighter will recover fully, but the events that unfolded there, that's something I'm sure none of those firefighters will fully recover from ever. Right now, though, this is the suspect's home. This is the second location. That was pretty much coming out almost as quickly, and that's one of the reasons why I was pointing out that these the players involved, the victims and the suspect, they all must know each other in some form to be able to, call out an address and then right away say, you know what, that's where that guy lives. So it's all very peculiar. Of course, motive is something that we'll find out hopefully later on. But whatever the motive is, the outcome definitely doesn't justify it at all. And right now, sadly, this house is burning. One firefighter losing their life and another injured in the hospital from violence created by the person that owns this home. The SWAT team, or SEB as it would be, the Sheriff's Department version, they are still down there. They're still making their plans on how to get into that home safely. And of course, you know, the idea that there may be a booby trap or there may actually be another person. There's a lot of home here, Marla. That's what you kind of pointed out. I think that's where you were kind of leading me in your kind way of, without asking, is, you know, there's a good possibility that there's might be somebody in this house in a portion that is not on fire that may be armed waiting for a deputy. They are spread out. The winds are light. If there was any possibility that any vegetation would catch fire, that probably would be more of the reason why the LA County Fire Helicopter was here with water. We've talked about this. I don't want to get any way off of what's going on. This is very tragic events, but that's one of the reasons why they don't drop water on structures, is because that would actually could very possibly spread that fire instead of putting out that fire when that water dumps down onto that structure. There is some trees in the area, there is some light vegetation, and I know for a fact that if anything starts catching fire around that home, that helicopter will come back and drop water on the vegetation, probably not on the structure itself. Those deputies, though, go ahead. Copy, thank you. We're keeping it kind of right. I understand. We're trying to see what they're seeing back there, but we don't see it. That's what I'm saying. Well, Sandra getting great information, and thank you, Marla. You know, this is the thing. It's like it comes back to this whole, from the beginning, it seems like all the players involved in this somehow knew each other. These are named people because they knew exactly where this house was, and apparently they might actually even know what's going on in that backyard. Skyfox, we thank goodness, in a way, we cannot confirm. This is one of the times I'm saying thank goodness we cannot confirm information. We cannot confirm that we see a person deceased in this backyard. The more relaxed demeanor of those professionals. These are law enforcement professionals, and they will probably be more relaxed than most in the most dire type of situation. They are trained to handle high stress, and those deputies that are down there right now, they're just putting together a plan. And of course, it is good news to hear that they believe that there is no more threat to any of the law enforcement or first responders. That's fantastic. But I am sure those guys that are, even with all their gear and their training, I don't think they're just going to come running up to the house or walk up to the house and start poking around. They're going to take this as a very serious type of situation. Even though they believe there is no threat, that does not mean there is no threat. So this might be taking some time to play out here. The fire department, they are nearby. That fire does seem to actually kind of be almost burning itself out. It's slowly creeping into other parts of this large Pueblo style of home out here in the Acton area. This is happening on Bent Spur in the Acton area. Sadly, that firefighter, we still don't know his rank. Early on, they were throwing out the words captain. It really doesn't make any difference. He was a LA County firefighter, first responder, lost his life in some sort of violence at the fire station this morning. And then, of course, another firefighter injured. You know, I'm sure everybody's prayers are for him to recover quickly. And then, of course, the family of that firefighter that lost his life. Now, that suspect, again, this is his residence. That's pretty much almost confirmed, and they knew where this was. As soon as that fire dispatch came out, almost immediately after that fire dispatch, they were saying, "Do not respond to that structure." They were making it very clear to the first responders, the fire department, not to respond because this is the residence of that suspect involved in that homicide at that fire station. So again, this just kind of shows that somebody knows what's going on. There's more information. There's probably more of a motive and a story behind this. And again, we talked about that just moments ago. Really doesn't make any difference. The outcome was definitely not worth whatever the issues were out here. Right now, though, Sheriff's Department, they're on the ground in force. I heard the detective already here. The number of these, now we have 2 of these Bearcats. Again, this is in the Acton area, and they don't have a number of these vehicles. There isn't one at every Sheriff's Department. So these are actually had make their way to this location. Of course, they have the benefits of their lights and sirens, being able to move through traffic quickly. But again, they still might be waiting for some more of their deputies to arrive to have that full team put together before they make an access. That home, though, continues to burn. Marla, you pointed it out earlier on, concerns about brush in the area. I can tell you if the winds do pick up, right now the wind's very light. Temperatures are high and the humidity is down, but wind's very light. Now the different portion of the house is definitely starting to go. Vinny just pointing that out. But if that vegetation starts to burn, the LA County helicopter probably will be back very quickly and start putting out, dropping water around the area, letting that house burn. And again, though, this is where that suspect is. That suspect apparently, we haven't confirmed. And I'm sorry, we were getting some more information. Now they're talking about bringing in that helicopter, the one I just talked about. They're talking about bringing it in to maybe make a drop nearby or on that structure. That's something we're going to watch. Definitely, and it probably will destroy that entire structure before they actually make an approach. And that might be one of the, again, they're saying that there is no threat. There is no threat to that to the public, but that might be one of the ways they're saying there is no threat. They're just going to let that building burn itself out. If there was a booby trap or anything more heinous than that, it will be destroyed in that fire. Vinny's showing some of that grass starting to burn behind the home. That probably is the concern of the LA County Fire Department, and they probably will bring in that helicopter. It's going to be a they're 30 seconds out for a drop, so they'll be here in just a moment, and that's going to be probably the Firehawk, as I saw earlier on. And Fire 15 is going to be coming in. We'll watch them do that drop, and they may do a very precise one. We'll take a look and we'll see, but they're concerned. Definitely the vegetation around this fire. They're coming in from the left side of the screen. They're just making their approach right now. Marla? There it is. And and that helicopter's been here, Marla, for pretty almost as long as we have been. They showed up earlier on, and just we thought we weren't sure what their plan was, but that's what we were talking about earlier on. That was a high and wide. That wasn't one of those ones that we see during a brush fire where they kind of pull up and drop that whole load, because if they would have, that literally would have blown the walls out of that building, and that fire would have spread exponentially. So they're going to go get some more water. They're going to be back. They'll probably do a couple more of those high and wides just to slow the progression of that fire. And again, that might be the plan right now, is the LA County Fire and the Sheriff's Department may just let that structure burn itself out in case there is some sort of booby trap. That was Fire 15. Copy all. Thank you, Pete. Yeah, I got that. Well, but we confirmed that there's a body. We still really don't have confirmation it's a suspect. Yes, I did, Pete. You heard me, right, Pete? No, we copy, but what I'm saying is it's just a body. We don't have confirmation that that really is the suspect. We believe it is. I think it is, but we can't really say it, right? Okay, copy. Copy all. What's that? That's the reason why they're asking about the white Toyota. Unless it's in the garage. I think, I think this is all because that one firefighter just wouldn't listen. The one firefighter just wouldn't listen. That's what this is all about. Yes, of course. Booth, you got us, right? Stand by. I thought we got that from PIO. He's going to do high wide. There you go. Maybe they don't want to. I think that's the whole point. Who's talking? Okay. Cool. That's good information. Yep. They're talking about bringing in the fire department, guys, if anybody's listening to me. They're going to bring in the fire department. That's what they're talking about now. They're talking about talking to the deputies to see if they can get some fire trucks in there. And horses being evacuated from the neighbors. Yep. Neighbors. Some dogs. There you go. Standing by. Marla, we've just been watching that fire burn down there and also picking up just crosstalk with what's going on with the first responders. Now, we've been hearing Sandra talk about the fact that the deputies are basically saying that there is no threat to the public or first responders at this time, and that might be because they're just going to kind of let that fire burn. But because of the brush in the area, and now we've seen 2 drops from the helicopters, and 2 more helicopters have been ordered up. One of them is going to be on standby, and we might actually see another drop from another helicopter from LA County Fire here in just a moment. The fire department, LA County Fire, is actually talking with the command post down there, seeing if they're going to allow, the deputies are going to allow the fire department to actually bring in hose lines and trucks to try to put that fire out, just because of the fact that it may spread into the brush out there. We did see that neighbor, that one property next door. Marla pointed it out. He was, those are the horses that are in the area, this area, and clearly whoever that woman was did not evacuate when all this was happening, and there's still other horses up there, so she might actually be making her way back. There's also some other livestock, that livestock being dogs that we saw. So this area, this is probably one of the concerns for LA County Fire. They don't want to have that brush catch on and then start running up these hillsides. It is very light grass. We've seen it in the past. If that fire catches in that grass area, it will burn very, very quickly and make its way into other areas where there's more vegetation. They don't want that. Right now, though, the deputies, their big concern, or what they're tasked with, is the safety of the public. And as you know, Sandra was saying, they believe that there is no more threat to the public right now. So this might work out for the fire department. So they might be able to get their trucks in there. They might be able to start putting out that fire. But what happened out here this afternoon, how this all came about, all that is something that we'll be, I'm sure we'll be working on, and I'm very curious about as well. And sadly, we understand, one firefighter in the hospital, another firefighter passed away after some violence that took place, and this at the actual fire station in Agua Dulce. It would be LA County Fire Station 81, and right here, this is the suspect's home, now on fire, and they believe the deputies were saying that they believe that suspect is deceased in that backyard. Sandra, I'm sorry, Marla. Oh, I just missed it. I think they're just talking about it. I don't know if they just said they're en route or not. The fire department. I'm listening on sheriffs. I think they just said it. Well, I thought they were staging. First they were staging, and then they were not responding. So it doesn't make sense. Me neither, right? Yeah, I know that's what they're doing. Somber. Let us in. So now it is much like everything else. Now the deputies are firefighters. You hear that? Basically telling the fire department, just keep doing water drops and knock this fire down. That's not how it works, guys. But yes, it is. Yes, it is, Marla. It's going to be another water drop. We've been listening to the deputies in the fire department talking about what's going on. Now the deputies are saying they're not going to approach that building until the fire is out. The deputy and the fire department saying you need to let us in to put that fire out. And they're not allowing anybody near that building. So right now, their only plan, the only thing that they can do is continue to do those high and wide water drops on that structure and try to make sure that the brush around it doesn't catch on fire. This might be a very long and arduous process, as those you saw that water drop effective, but definitely not as effective as it would be with fire crews on the ground with their hose lines trying to attack those flames. So that seems to be what's going on right now. So the deputy's basically saying to the fire department, we're not going to let you get near there until that fire's out, and then the deputies are not going to get near it either until the fire's out. So their only option is to try to battle it from a distance. So they're going to continue making these water drops, and or somebody, management is going to talk to management down there, and they're going to come to some other type of conclusion, possibly allowing the fire department to make entry under that property and put those flames out. Right now, though, the big concern, or the biggest concern for us right now watching this, is basically to make sure that that vegetation or that light brush doesn't catch on fire. We've seen a little bit of a wind shift every now and then, that water drop effective, but you can clearly see this is not a brush fire, this is a structure fire, and there's reasons why they don't use helicopters to put out structure fires. Again, this is the culmination of what was going on this afternoon. One firefighter passed away from a shooting at the fire station, a second taken to a local hospital with injuries. Hopefully that second firefighter is going to be okay. This is the home of the suspect. You guys, I heard great work from whoever put together the actual dispatch for the sheriff's department. I hadn't heard that version. I actually heard the fire department basically saying the same things earlier on when they were giving this address. So they knew, somehow everybody knew who the players involved in this. So this is the suspect's home. There is a deceased person in the backyard. We do have that confirmed now. Is it the shooter? We believe so. Right now, the fire continues to burn. The deputies, like we've been hearing Sandra talk about, they're saying that this is not a threat to the public, and that most likely is if there was something going on inside that house or some sort of booby trap, they're basically just going to let this home burn to the ground, destroying whatever violence might have occurred there towards any more law enforcement. Right now, fire continues to burn here in Acton. That home is off of Bent Spur, 2600 block of Bent Spur. A number of deputies are down there. These are armed professionals. These are basically the SWAT version for the deputies or the sheriff's department, and they're ready to make an approach, but they want that fire out before they get close enough, because the possibility something nefarious, or there might be more danger involved with that building on fire than they're really made aware of. It's terrible. Well, those Bearcats, that's basically the sheriff's department of the SWAT team, and they are saying right now that's the conversation that's been going back and forth between LA County Fire Department and the deputies. The fire department requesting the access to that home. The deputies are saying it's not safe. We're not going to let you get near that home until that fire is out. So that's kind of what's going on. It's a little back and forth between those two agencies. They're hoping that they're going to be able to at least contain the fire or keep it from spreading to the brush with those water drops. They have 3 helicopters out here right now from LA County Fire. We've been watching the Fire 15 making a couple of drops. We weren't on. I didn't pay attention. Let's just face it. On the second drop, not sure if that's the other one. So as we understand it, the other 2 helicopters are staging in case there is more of a spread of fire, and Fire 15 is the one that's going to just keep picking up water and coming back and doing those high and wide drops, basically, just trying to keep those flames contained to that structure, and that structure burning itself out. Marla, we've been here pretty much since the inception of that fire. Most of that home is completely destroyed, is completely gone as of now, but that there's still quite a bit to burn there, and it's going to be a while before that fire is completely out, and the deputies will probably be the first to make their approach to make sure that the scene is clear and safe, and then and clearly then afterwards the fire department will make their way up there to put out any hot spots. Yeah. They fired them. All right. Deputies are making their way towards the building. Or they're getting closer. Yeah. No, I had it off. I'm actually listening to Marla. Not a problem. Not a problem. I'm just listening to what you guys are talking about. Pardon me? Okay. I don't. I don't know why. Yeah. You want to look at the helicopter, like tight on the helicopter? Well, I don't know where they're going. I was gonna say maybe they got a sniper out there because they said he's covering, right? That's right, and what we're looking at right there is the Air Rescue 5. That's one of the sheriff's helicopters. They're actually covering the ground guys down there. They actually made their way up to that building in their armored vehicle and then kind of spread out. They're just making sure that there is no other threat on the property to those deputies. They're the only ones that are nearby that building right now. While this is going on, the LA County Fire Department, well, they're still making those water drops. They're doing high and wide. They're not dropping directly onto the structure, but it does seem to at least be slowing down that fire and keeping that fire from spreading to any of that vegetation. Now, as Sandra was talking about on the ground down there, they were saying that there is no threat to the public, but that doesn't mean that there isn't a threat to those first responders, those deputies that have to make that approach. So they are taking this very cautiously, and they're doing what needs to be done to do this safely. We understand that one person is dead in the backyard deceased, but we don't know if that's the suspect or possibly another victim. And of course, there was that daunting call that that whoever owned this home that set fire to it was going to take shots at anybody that would approach the building. So right now, that's what they have to deal with. They have to take these threats very seriously. One firefighter already losing their life this afternoon in a confrontation at the fire station. The suspect retreating, possibly retreating to this property right here. And again, that property set on fire, believed by that suspect, and a number of deputies are out here. Now that sheriff's helicopter moved out of the way, LA County Fire helicopter making their way in right now, and we'll probably be seeing that same high and wide, slow-moving drop of water onto the base part of that structure, trying to hit those hot spots down there and keep those flames from spreading. There you go, another great drop by LA County firefighters, and it is really seeming to slow those flames down. That building's still burning, but nothing around the building is catching fire. And those deputies, well, they just want to make sure that it is safe for those firefighters to make their way up to that building and get those hot spots out. That's what's going on out here in Acton right now. Marla? Five plus, copy all. I'll let Vinny know. I'll do it. 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 Five plus, five plus. And I have a feeling that I was doing other duties inside the helicopter and you guys were trying to get to me. I'm sorry about that. We were having signal issues. I thought signal Trump talking. Sorry, my bad. Get a picture of it. Yeah, I know, great. That's ugly. All right, I'll let him know. Yeah. What a shame. So we're looking at another 25 on station? Okay. Simon Test, Skyfox Simon Test. We are able to stay on station to 145, 145. 145 will do a down and dirty of the fire station on the way. If you need it. If you need the fire station stuff. But if you don't, we'll just go back to base. .145 is the time we're going to depart fire, depart our location. If you need footage of the fire station, let us know. Yeah. Yep. Bye. Hey, sorry about that before, if that was for us. Well, they're definitely approaching that property. They're going to try to make sure that that property is secure from any type of danger to any first responders, and then hopefully they will allow the fire department to make their way over here to basically put out those hot spots. LA County Fire doing what they can, dropping water on that structure, high and wide drops, basically just keeping those flames inside that structure, not allowing them to basically get into any of that vegetation around there. Now, those deputies, we heard, if you guys were listening earlier on, but we all heard the tape from the deputies being dispatched to this location, and part of it was a threat from that person, that suspect, saying that he would shoot at any first responders arriving towards at this structure that was on fire. So they have to take that very seriously, especially when you have to factor in that that suspect did take the life of a LA County firefighter earlier on this morning. So that's what's going on right now. Now those flames continue to burn. That house almost gutted at this point, but those deputies, they're still making an approach and making a plan and approaching this building very safely at this time. Now the fire department, the LA County Fire Department, they actually did request the ability to bring in a fire truck and some hose lines and basically put out that fire on that property before it spread, but the law enforcement, the deputies said, you know what, it is just too dangerous until we have that threat completely confirmed that there is no threat. They're not going to allow anybody to make an entry towards that building. Those deputies down there, that's basically the sheriff's department version of SWAT. They're highly trained, highly armed, and also with a lot of armament protection. So right now, that fire continues to burn. We know for a fact that there is one person deceased on the property. It's not confirmed yet if that's the suspect in that homicide of that firefighter earlier this afternoon. And again, that property next door, you can see one of those horses right there, top of the screen, getting very agitated. And some people might say it's because of the helicopters. I can guarantee you there is a lot of helicopter noise down there. But Sky Fox, we are extremely high up in the air, giving the law enforcement and the firefighting helicopters the room that they need to operate in safely. So right now, though, this fire continues to burn. It's still a very active situation out here. But as Sandra mentioned earlier on, the deputies, those first responders, their attitude and the way they're handling things, much slower, much more methodical. And again, these guys, they are trained to deal with high tensions. But still, as long as there's a possibility, any kind of possibility of a threat to anybody, these guys are going to be very cautious and move very slowly until they know it is completely safe for any first responder to approach that building. Marla? to approach, yeah. Hey, Booth, have you got a second for a little update? They're probably busy with other stuff. I was going to say there isn't much left of the building to burn. Very litigious. I don't know. Yep. Oh, she's doing Chelsea. Oh. Manny? Sweet. Be safe. Should ask when's Deb coming back? Want me to get on? Okay. Sweet. I don't know. I'll find out. Simon Desk, just checking in. When we depart, which will be around 1:45, when we depart around 1:45, are we going to Agua Dulce, then base, or just right to base? Yeah. I know. It's not even 30 yet. Okay. Get, get, get. You're losing Vinny's shot. Vinny's getting back there getting tense. I can feel it. Vinny's back there getting tense. I can feel it. We're flying away from the. Yeah. A threat. They're looking for a threat. Yeah. Right. Well, they'll sue the. Somebody coming in. Adam, helicopter, water drop. Go ahead. I just told him. Okay. Okay, there's no fuel at Agua Dulce. We were asking if you wanted shots of the fire department, the firehouse in Agua Dulce. If you're going to have to coordinate with Helinet and others to keep the helicopter flying. If you'd like us to depart right now, we'll depart right now and head back to Helinet for fuel. I told him, and Vinny's got. I know it's going to be 2 o'clock when we get back to Van Nuys. That's what they got to figure out. We can hang out till 1:45, and then we have to depart. We can get a picture of the fire department. If you give us heads up, we'll leave at 1:40, get a picture of the fire department, and then go to Van Nuys for fuel. If you would like us to, we'll leave early and just go get fuel, but just let us know. That's correct. Like I said, the timing will work out perfectly for that crew member. I'm willing to stay. Heck, I'll stay till 6 o'clock. But the reality is we're going to need an aircraft, and that's the reason why I was trying to say you need to get a hold of Helinet and schedule something with them. Not a problem. We have till 1:45 on station, and then we have to depart. And it's not because of somebody getting off on time, as we're running out of fuel. Well, what we're looking at right now is that fire. Now, this is where that suspect lives. This is going to be in the Acton area. This is going to be on Bent Spur. And Skyfox has basically been here since the inception of that fire. When we heard the calls of that tragic shooting at the fire station, Skyfox made its way to that fire station first. But we were hearing the dispatch of that fire on Bent Spur, and they were clearly saying that this is the suspect's house involved in that shooting, and not to approach that building because that suspect was making threats saying anybody approaching this home will be shot at. So we went to the fire station first, and then we came here because we could see the smoke from the Agua Dulce area. When we arrived, clearly a fire, and the first responders were a sheriff's department helicopter. They were concerned about vehicles leaving the property. In the end, it turned out that those were either neighbors checking on the fire and or more possibly workers on that property. That's to be sorted out. Sadly, or just factually, there is a body in that backyard. Now, we're unclear if that's a suspect and or possibly another victim, but we do know a deceased body in the backyard. The reason why the fire department cannot come in and put out this fire, well, the sheriff's department, their SEB crew, that's basically the SWAT's version, the sheriff's version of SWAT, those guys are saying that as long as there is a possibility of a threat at that property, they're not going to allow any first responders anywhere near it. Now, the reason that fire almost out, one reason it's burning out that building. There's less and less of that building to burn. The LA County Fire Helicopter has been making multiple water drops on that building, basically keeping those flames to that building, not to the surrounding brush, and cooling it down. Lately, the most recent thing that we've seen is some of those guys that you see right there in that armored vehicle actually made an approach to the building, and then we heard their communications saying that it is really just too hot to get anywhere close to that building, and they want to wait till that fire is has died down even more, and that property has cooled before they will be able to make an approach and confirm that there is absolutely no threat to any first responders. That's what's going on out here right now in the Acton area. Again, though, sadly, we know one firefighter losing their life, another firefighter in the hospital. Prayers go out to both those families. And then, of course, we know one body in that backyard believed to be the suspect, but yet to be confirmed. I know. I just, like I said, if we have to, Okay. This is breaking news. I live for this crap. That might be, and that's part of the threat to the public or the threat to any of the first responders. They've actually used the terminology in the past. There's the bomb squad right there. That they actually are clearing that house by fire, meaning that they're just making sure that anything that would be harmful to any of those first responders would just burn in that fire. And that's one of the reasons why the sheriff's department was holding the fire department back earlier on. They just wanted that structure to burn itself out if there was any danger to the public or possibly a booby trap or whatever you wanted to call it, ammunition in that building, that it would basically just burn itself out. Right now, that plan seems to be working very well as that building almost destroyed this afternoon. There's a couple of portions left. That last drop by LA County Fire Department, that was a very low and precise drop, taking out a lot of that bulk of fire, but there's still some hot spots in there, and as long as those hot spots are burning, that fire could reignite or get into the walls. So this firefight far from out. That danger, if there is a danger, okay, let's word it like that, the possibility of danger inside that home is still going to be there until the fire department and the sheriff's department make sure that it is not. They are completely sure that there is nothing that could burn. Just saw some sort of either a collapse there or an explosion of fire just right there live. Look at that. All of a sudden, all this heavy black smoke starting to bellow out of that one portion of the building. Maybe that was part of the plan. Who knows? But you can see that's what they're talking about. This fire was almost out just moments ago. Now, again, just reigniting itself, bellowing a lot of black smoke and heavy fire coming from that front portion of that home there. So this firefight far from out. That threat to the public, probably safe. The public is safe. Those first responders, that's a different story. And those deputies, they're highly trained and will deal with this situation the best they can, keeping everyone safe. Yes. Yes. Christine, that is one of the things that, seriously, the word processing is one of the words that really came to mind. These are the first responders. These are the fire department. And this, we don't know for sure as of yet, but it is more than likely that all the players in this scenario this afternoon or this late morning, they all knew each other. They knew that this was the suspect's home. There was that confrontation at the fire station, and it really is very complicated and difficult to process even from the outside. I can't even imagine what those firefighters, especially the ones at the fire station, have to deal with. And this might come to a conclusion. Their pain and their comprehension, that will go on for quite some time. But right now, they just have to make sure that the threat is over, that they have this concluded, and it has been brought to an end. And you are so right. The fire department, they didn't even respond. They actually put out the dispatch, and as soon as we listened to the scanners, we listened to their dispatches, and you could hear it even in the dispatcher's voice for the fire department. They play the sheriff's one on we've been playing that on air, but the county fire one, you could hear it, and they were saying that this is the shooter's residence. Do not approach. So even those first responders from the LA County Fire were not able to come here to put out the fire. And right now, this fire still continues to burn. The deputies, they're the ones that are tasked with safety, even of the safety of those first responders. Their plan right now is basically just to let this structure burn and to make sure that if there is some threat that actually burns in that fire, and then it is going to be safe to approach. But again, so many, the why, that is still out there. And of course, we do know for a fact there is a deceased body on that property, but we don't know if that is a suspect and or if that is just another victim. You know, that is true. We have not seen anybody make any kind of approach to that one white structure right there. That that and Vinny's talking, saying that might be property right there. We haven't seen them clear anything. They haven't seen them make an approach to that building as well, and it's interesting that you point that out. I totally missed that as well. It does seem to be a smaller structure in the back by the pool area. That's also a standalone building that has not caught fire. You can see it kind of through the smoke right there. Vinny doing some fantastic work pointing out that structure. That's another one that they're going to have to clear. Before they actually allow. When I say clear, basically surround it, make entry, make sure that there's nothing in there that could cause harm to any of the first responders. So, and the reality is that this structure, there's another water drop from one of the helicopters. The reality is those flames, the deputies that were making approach earlier on, they wanted to kind of get in there a little earlier. They just said it's too hot to approach that building. And with all their gear and what they're carrying, it probably was. Those flames were very hot, and they just couldn't make their way around the building. So right now, their plan, just let it burn and make sure that it doesn't spread to any vegetation or any of the nearby buildings. Yes. Well, we're still with it. We can show you the shot, but we definitely need fuel. We've been here since the inception of this story, and so we're heading off. But right now, still a very active scene. They're going to keep dropping the water from the helicopters and try to get that bulk of the fire out that we're seeing that just kind of ignited there in that corner. And there's also a garage that was basically untouched, but now seems to be on fire as well. But they're going to make sure that it is completely burned out and that fire is out before those deputies make any kind of approach to that building.
Copy. Let's hurry to the other side here. Get back to the front, try to... Yeah, maybe actually from the side to try to look inside. No, I mean, there's just more cops getting here, but sorry, you want me to talk again? Yeah, sure. Well, Jasmine and Chris, we just noticed it looks like LA County Sheriff's deputies, maybe the homicide detectives that just arrived on the scene, I believe, in this white Dodge Challenger right here. We saw them get out and communicate with other deputies. Now that we can confirm that one of the firefighters has lost their life in this horrible incident here at Fire Station 81, the 8700 block of Sierra Highway. Still seeing more sheriff's deputies arriving here, so they just got here. I also noticed what might have been a battalion chief. He was dressed in formal clothing, almost kind of looked like a Navy admiral or something, and they went inside this shed here, so they may be setting up kind of their mobile command center inside of this building here, which is attached to the property of the fire station, just to widen out and show you the area that we're talking about here. And you can see, this is that section of Sierra Highway that's only one lane in each direction, this section of Acton, pretty sparsely populated area, but I would expect Sierra Highway to be shut down for many, many hours while this takes place. They're going to need all the space that they can get here. You're going to have a lot of logistics looking for bullet casings and trying to recreate what happened, talking to any traumatized witnesses that may still be here. So these investigations take a long, long time to complete. But again, it looks like the sheriff's deputies, I'd be homicide detectives that just arrived on the scene. And we're still waiting for the coroner now to come to the scene as well. Now that this has all been confirmed, we're certain that the LA County coroner will be coming up here. It'll be quite a drive for them. They'll be coming from downtown Los Angeles near County General Hospital, so off the 5 and the 10 freeway. They'll have to contend with some traffic to get up here. It often takes the coroner's office, just from experience, I can tell you, it takes them a long time to respond to these kind of incidents. So their arrival, I would not say imminent at this point, perhaps within the next hour or so. But you can see the sheriff's deputies now conferring with detectives from LA County Sheriff's out here at Fire Station 81. Jasmine and Chris. I think these are homicide detectives that are just arrived and coming to the scene. Probably looks like this is probably where the actual shooting took place. Okay, sure. Yeah, Chris and Jasmine, we just watched some sheriffs, the homicide detectives from LA County Sheriff's Department that just arrived, and looked like deputies were getting them up to speed as they began their investigation. Just watched them walk into this entrance right here, so wondering if this is where the actual shooting occurred, kind of right between where the bay is where they keep one of the engines and the front entrance, which is right there. So the actual shooting may have taken place in this area. Our understanding is that they actually used this truck right here in the center of the screen to call in the shooting earlier. So I'm just kind of imagining a situation where, you know, firefighters ran out after the shooting took place and they got inside this truck and actually radioed that emergency to sheriff's deputies to come to the scene as this was all unfolding. And we also learned that sheriffs, or actually LA County Fire Department, their Air Rescue 22 actually landed the helicopter here and transported one of the firefighters, the one that was injured, whose condition is still unknown. He was airlifted to Henry Mayo Clinic in the Santa Clarita Valley. We're wondering if they landed right here in the middle of the street or landed here in this kind of large back lot. But you know, they wanted to expedite that firefighter's transport as quickly as possible. So even though it's not too far of a distance, they did conduct that airlift earlier. So again, just kind of showing how some of this transpired as it was happening earlier this afternoon. But we have a lot of investigators down here, maybe a dozen or so, and we watched them all walk inside right there in the center of the screen, kind of that middle entrance, perhaps a garage, maintenance garage or something where we believe the actual shooting took place. There was also a lot of personnel in this shed over here where they may be setting up a bit of a mobile command center. So you see, I'll widen out and show you the area, Sierra Highway here, the 8700 block of Sierra Highway in Agua Dulce, and just to give you an idea of the area that we're talking about. And the Sierra Highway will be shut down for many, many hours for this. Still waiting for the coroner to arrive. We haven't even heard actually that they're on the way to this. It could take a surprising amount of time to get the coroners up here, and they have to come all the way from the Boyle Heights area. So may still be some time for them to arrive to tend to the fallen firefighter, which that we can now confirm that one has indeed been killed in this horrible incident. The other one transported, airlifted to a hospital in Santa Clarita in unknown condition. Chris and Jasmine, back to you. Yeah, we did one, but go ahead. Freak 6. Oh. Okay, yep.